I'm Victoria Weinstein, the parish minister of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greater Lynn, and I want to welcome you to our Summer Sundays, which are our offerings for July and August when we take a break from our traditional worship services. Summer Sundays are meant to be a little bit more contemplative, to help us gain spiritual strength and stamina for all that our lives demand of us right now. And they're also a little bit shorter. And the July offerings are led by the Reverend Myozen Joan Amaral of the Zen Center of the North Shore. And I'm so happy that she agreed to be with us in this way in virtual community. I'm also really happy that we have Greg Gallo joining us to offer music with his guitar while our music staff takes a vacation. You can learn more about our church at uucgl.org, and please join us for coffee hour and conversation on Zoom at 11 a.m. every Sunday. Stay safe, stay well, and stay in touch.
Good morning, good people of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greater Lynn. I am very happy to be with you again this morning, and we're going to continue from last week. But first, grounding ourselves, feeling the bottom part of our body making contact with whatever's supporting us beneath us, growing up and out from there. And it's helpful in doing that to connect the breath with that intention. Breathing in, expanding, opening, and breathing back out again, grounding, settling, letting go, committing to being right here on this beautiful summer morning. Maybe you're sweaty like me. Opening to what is. This is what's going on. The sky is blue. The leaves are just this vivid green. There's kind of a settled feeling, at least here in my neighborhood. You know, when it gets this warm, humans tend to move more slowly. So everything has possibility. Within everything, there's an opening. So that was the meaning of what I chanted last week. I ended with the chant, abiding in this ephemeral world like a lotus in muddy water. The mind is pure and goes beyond. And I forget what I said. Traditionally, it's thus we bow to Buddha, but I might have secularized it, which is fine to do. I might have said, thus we honor awakening, thus we bow to the fact of awakening in the world if we make contact with it. But whatever. The meaning of this, the spirit of this, I did want to spend a couple minutes and share this with you. My understanding anyway. And, you know, I would love if some people have emailed me, and I am trying with the sound. I hope the sound works better, that you can hear more clearly. I hope this microphone is working. I have it plugged in completely. But we'll see. And so keep emailing me, keep in touch with me. I appreciate that. And maybe there are other questions or comments you'd like to share too. Like, what does this mean to you? Abiding in this ephemeral world, okay? Ephemeral, fleeting. We're in the midst of change, always. Sometimes we feel it more acutely, like these days we might be really feeling it. There is so much happening and it's coming at us kind of rapidly and frequently. All this massive change, unrest, movement. You know, as a dancer, I would like to share that I do connect with this fact of change as movement, the movement of life, that things are moving. It is a wonderful dance. Maybe it's only problematic if I want to try to control things. And that is kind of a natural tendency. There are times when we do really feel out of control, when something really big and deep happens, you know, and we're really massively aware of how we're not in control. That's painful. And I don't mean to bypass that. People die, we get diagnoses, we lose jobs, we get sick. It's difficult at times. And so maybe this is why sometimes it's just helpful to just sit down in the midst of all that rushing river of life happening. But this is where we abide in this ephemeral world. We live in the midst of change. And then we say, like a lotus in muddy water. So this muddy water, mucky, murky, things aren't always clear. Things are kind of uncomfortable. You know, I compost with black earth compost, maybe you know it. And they come once a week and on Fridays, and I missed it yesterday. And now we're going into this heat wave. And sure enough, I opened my bin this morning to put some compost in, and already there are creepy crawly things, maggots in there. Not pleasant. Gives me the heebie-jeebies. And this is part of composting, those creepy crawlies. And I think that's a really wonderful, I almost said beautiful, but that's a little kind of bypassy, wonderful metaphor for the ickiness of life sometimes, many times, all the time. We just don't maybe notice it. So these maggots, these creepy crawlies, are part of the cycle of life. In hospice, in Zen hospice, they train hospice volunteers. One of the first questions they ask is, what's the number one cause of death? What is the number one cause of death in America or anywhere? Life. Anything that's alive will die. In order to have beautiful flowers, maggots are part of that sometimes. These creepy crawly things from underneath the earth, underneath the ground. There's all kinds of life happening there. So this lotus in muddy water, that there is beauty in the midst of that muck, that there is growth and life in the midst of decay. So, there's a reason that death is such a strong teaching in Zen, and that composting is such a strong part of Zen practice. The most important job after the abbot in a Zen monastery, the head student, takes care of the compost. They turn the compost. They go into the compost shed with these big rubber boots and with a pitchfork, get in there, literally in it, and turn it. And they also clean the toilets, and they take care of the recycling and take out the garbage. So this is called desentimentalizing, dealing with meeting life in its entirety. And I do feel that when we can do that, when we meet life in its entirety, it's a heck of a lot easier when the difficulty comes. Abiding in this ephemeral world, recognizing we're not in control. The creepy crawlies come. Still, we assert we are like a lotus in muddy water, growing up and out of the compost of our life. All our mistakes, all our transgressions, all the places about ourselves that scare us. Our compost. We use that to grow. The mind is pure and goes beyond. We don't stay stuck in shame and the paralysis of shame, the dark closet of self-shaming. We come out into the light so that we can grow. And we use everything that we have. We use the muck, we use the compost, all of it. So the mind is pure and goes beyond the realm of duality, of good and bad, beautiful flower, maggot, liberation, suffering. The mind is pure and goes beyond. Thus we bow to Buddha. We put our hands in Gasho, in the universal expression of non-duality. Right hand, left hand, no longer right and left, but a harmony of it all. And we bow to Buddha. We honor the fact of awakening. There is awakening in the world. This is what the Buddha taught. We have to make contact with it. We have to embody it. We have to turn to it in order to enjoy it. So please, let's enjoy it for a blessed moment together right now. Root, Lotus, root in your muck right now. Feel your tailbone beneath you, your hips on your chair, your sofa, your cushion, your yoga mat, the grass, the beach sand. Root right here. Plant yourself with determination, with resolve, and grow. Extend up and out of that muck toward the light. Breathe. Enjoy. Feel it all. There is nothing to reject. In this moment of nothing to reject, I'll just share. I am hearing the sweet bird song interspersed with some large machinery. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if it's a backhoe. I can feel the sweat accumulating on my spine. Even as I feel a kind of openness in my heart. My heart feels a little fluttery, but I do feel a spacious surround. That flutteriness, the flutteriness is fluttering in the midst of expansiveness, lots of space. Fluttering, sunlight, blue sky, a wide, vast field of possibility. And we are just breathing. Thank you for being with me this morning. Have a wonderful day. Stay cool. Abiding in this ephemeral world like a lotus in muddy water. The mind is pure and goes beyond. Thus we bow to Buddha.